Welcome to the NFL Monday Night Football post-game show with Coach Coyote. It's a subdued post-game show. Okay, so we'll do it real quick. The game just ended, and the Cincinnati Bengals won the game over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 34-31. It was a final in overtime. Now the scoring was that in the first quarter, the Cincinnati Bengals did not score any points in the first quarter. The Jacksonville Jaguars scored a touchdown. Extra point was good. And in the second quarter, the Cincinnati Bengals scored two touchdowns. With both extra points were good. And the Jacksonville Jaguars got a touchdown. So that was four. They became tied 14 all. And in the third quarter, the Jacksonville Jaguars got two touchdowns, and the Cincinnati Bengals got one with the extra point. Good. And oh yes, and both extra points for Jacksonville were good. So it became the Cincinnati Bengals 21 to the Jacksonville Jaguars 28 to start the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, the Cincinnati Bengals scored 10 points, a touchdown, extra point was good, and a field goal that was good. And the Jacksonville Jaguars only got a field goal in the fourth quarter. And in overtime, the Cincinnati Bengals did the only scoring with a field goal, which gave it a final score of the Cincinnati Bengals 34 and the Jacksonville Jaguars 31. Now, this game became totally unexpected for Cincinnati Bengal fans who seen their backup QB, which was I falsely or I mistakenly, I should say, I mistakenly thought that AJ Karen was the starting quarterback because I was asked earlier who is the starting quarterback for tonight's game. This is the previous video I did, the pregame show, and AJ McCarron came up, and I have to realize what the AI is not. Didn't quite get my question. I didn't know if I phrased it right. So, not realizing that Browning is the starting quarterback for tonight. I'm not sure if he was not scheduled or what that was, but I only strictly went on the AI because I wasn't paying attention to the Cincinnati Bengals prior to this game. I thought they were going to be out of the playoffs, so I didn't pay much attention to them. And it's when you look at the game summary though, Jake Browning was the starting quarterback, not as I reported earlier that I thought it was going to be AJ McCarron in the previous video, which I'm totally wrong. Now, Jake Browning was 32 for 37 with 354 yards and one touchdown. That's for passing. Trevor Lawrence, well, he was injured. He left the game. He was 22 for 29, 258 yards with two touchdowns. For the rushing, the Joe Mixon on the Cincinnati Bengals, 19 carries for 68 yards. He was the rushing leader, and he had two touchdowns. And Travis. Sorry, I read that. Travis Etienne Jr. 11 carries for 45 yards and one touchdown. The receiving yards, Jamar Chase for Cincinnati was their leader for 11 receptions, 149 yards, and he had one touchdown. And Evan Ingram had 9 receptions, 82 yards, and one touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry, Coach. Just going through all the the highlights real quickly. They're like I'm looking at the headlines with Jaguars versus Bengals. Cincinnati beats Jacksonville in Monday Night Thriller as Jake Browning makes statement. Yes, that was a statement by the Cincinnati Bengals that they do have a very good backup quarterback in Jake Browning. Now, at the beginning of the season, most people don't think of the backup quarterback as being so special, but because you're gonna have such a high difference in what your top quarterback usually is going to be your highest paid player on the team, so there's just not enough money left for a backup QB when you could spend it elsewhere on the team. And now, since like the Cincinnati Bengals now have revived their season because they are sitting at 6-6, and if you look at the division leaders here, well, I'm looking at the AFC North and in the standings. The AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, they're on top of the AFC North with a 9-3, and the Steelers are right below them at 7-5. The Browns 7-5, and now updated with the Bengals at 6-6 after this game. And the way that well, Coach, what do you think? Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? That the way that the backup quarterback played for Cincinnati Bengals, Jake Browning, um, they looks like they have a shot. It looks like they have a chance. I shouldn't say shot. It looks like they have a chance. They have one. They have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, they're not going to be able to. Looks like there's no. I don't think they'll be able to catch up to the Baltimore Ravens, who are currently 9-3. At 6-6, there's just not. Well, there's how many? There's 5 games left to make it 17 games. At 12, there should be 5 games remaining, and if you add the 6 plus the 5, that's 11. That would have to be a every win. That would have to, for Bengals to win, it would have to be a total meltdown in the Baltimore Ravens organization, where they don't win more than 10 games because the best the Bengals can do is 11-6. At 11-6, if the Ravens don't fall apart, which I don't expect them to, the Steelers, they would need four wins. We'd have to check the head-to-head schedules, but if, I can't see the Steelers getting 4 wins, and what's happening with Kenny Pickett. But the Browns too. The best case scenario they can do is 12-5, and just like the Steelers, 12-5. Okay, now if they meet head to head, these teams meet head to head. So I can't. There's head to head scenarios here. Let's check. Let me check the full schedule here. Because I'm looking at the Patriots Steelers game. Okay, so it's week 14 of 18. Patriots play the Steelers. Okay, the Texans play the Jets. That's more of a. Now here's one: the Rams Ravens. They could lose one there. Okay. Okay. Now Bengals play Colts next week, which. That one they're going to need desperately to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They really need that one. And next week, oddly enough, the Jaguars play the Browns. So the Browns are now looking at it going, okay, they don't want injuries on anyone, but without Trevor Lawrence, I think they feel they got a shot to win that game a lot easier. They're professionals. They're out to play the game, and they're not going to take the Jaguars lightly just because they don't have Trevor Lawrence. We'll see who starts in a week because there was the backup QB for the Jaguars after going in, filling in for Trevor Lawrence, the injured Trevor Lawrence. Um, hurt is it Blake? I forget what his name is now. I just didn't expect it. I did not expect him to be in the game at all, but he hurt his wrist, so we'll see the status on that if he can play, and then I'm just gonna go switch to the week after that to see. Well, the Bengals play the Vikings, so the Steelers now play the Colts, so there's no head-to-head yet, and the Browns play the Bears. It's their chance to play the Bears, so there's no head-to-head yet. Okay, okay, and oh, the Ravens play the Jaguars. Okay, so now they're week 16. Here we go. Now here comes to a, as they say, a clash. And we got the Bengals, Steelers, head to head, December the 23rd. So is that the Saturday games at week 16? Because no, is it Saturday or is it looks like Saturday? Yeah. So the Saturday game it will be Bengals Steelers. I'm looking the Saturday. So the Saturday. Oh, December the 21st is. That must be a Thursday night game. Okay, so the Saints and Rams, don't know what's going to happen there, if it's going to get changed. But right now, on the December the 23rd, the Bengals play the Steelers. That's head to head. That'll be very important. And then Bills Chargers, I'm looking at there, and Browns play the Texans, and Packers, Panthers, Colts. Okay, so we're looking to see if there's any more like important head-to-head. Ravens play the 49ers, and they play on Christmas Day, and they could lose if they lose that game. It should like the Ravens should be okay if they lose that game. They can afford to lose that game probably. Here because it's the head-to-heads that were so far the Browns. Okay, so the Browns are going to play the Jets in week 17, so they're not playing their own division. Saints, Buccaneers, and Dolphins that play the Ravens, and who knows what kind of implications that could be for the Dolphins, depending on how Bills and the rest Bills do, and Cardinals, Eagles. I'm checking to see. Oh, there's the Bengals play the Chiefs. The way the Chiefs are, if this is the Super Bowl champs here, but you know the Chiefs are so vulnerable. They could, but if the Chiefs outright win their division by then, it can happen in the West. Like I could see that happen in the AFC West with the Chiefs on December the 31st. Can be win this game. They're pretty well. They've got their season wrapped up. The Steelers play the Seahawks. So this is now. Here's the big one. Let's see if there's any head-to-head, because these could come down. This division now is becoming very tight. Okay, looking to see who is playing who for head. Okay, I got Steelers and Ravens. A lot of Steelers. If the Ravens have clinched the AFC North division, and maybe they're, who knows if Baltimore is trying for first overall in the AFC at that time to beat the Steelers, because they would love to get that bye week. So we'll see on that one. Let's see. It's the Rams 49. Okay, so Browns and Bengals play each other on January the 7th. So there's a okay. This game could be huge. So the AFC North is very, very tight. It looks like. Now I'll go see the standings, and I'll see the AFC South. We're okay. Jaguars. Okay, now they're 8-4. Okay, they lost today. They lost the game today. Now 8-4. They only got one game cushion on the Colts for the AFC title, AFC South title. And this, I didn't think there was after even if they would have lost the game with Trevor Lawrence in tonight, I I still would say that they're still in good shape, but you know I think that if Trevor Lawrence was in this game, the rest of the game, it would have been 9-4. But so Colts, I mean the Texans, the Titans are pretty well. They're out. It looks like they could be almost mathematically out pretty soon. But right now, it's still for the AFC South. Even the AFC South it's still up for grabs. The Texans can squeak through, win the AFC South. This is the time that there could actually be there might be a chance there could be a wild card team coming from the AFC South. But as far as you want to win the division, that's a guarantee. Uh, it looks very vulnerable now that Trevor Lawrence is out for the foreseeable future, I guess. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk about that in a second with Coach on the situation there. Okay, so but the game was winnable, as they say, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even without the starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Now, there's there's getting there's huge holes in well, there's some huge holes in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, which is run the run. Okay, they're not. They really don't have much of a running game by tonight's. But I look tonight, and that's gotta change. So, well, there's the coach. There's the part I didn't. I'm hoping that I'm overreacting to the injury, and it's that's what I'm really hoping that I'm just overreacting, and it looked really bad, Coach. I mean, it looked really bad. I mean, his leg bent in a strange way, and then okay, one thing, but then he got a then he had that defensive lineman for the Cincinnati Bengal player fall on top of him too, while his knee is kind of in an awkward position. And then I'm like, oh, when I seen that, one second. I'm like, I'm just seeing it, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. So then he's a Cincinnati Bengal player and a Jacksonville Jaguar player tried to help Trevor up. Uh, the, did he want to go? It looked like he wanted to go up to see if everything was okay, and then he went down immediately again. If I remember, it happened so fast. It happened so fast that it looked like he went down hard again. Like he went down on his own, like going, "Oh, this something's not right." And then he, pound the fist on the ground, frustration. And we went to commercial break. Then Then we came back from the commercial break. We seen the locker room, like how he was walking to the locker room with assistants and just gingerly walking to the locker room. And I, I was totally surprised that they didn't cart that's a, like most. I think most people would say if he was carted off, I mean, this looks pretty really bad. But some would say he walked off. But his pain tolerance is probably so high at that moment because his mind, like at the time of an athlete like him, his mind is saying, "No, I'm okay. I'll be all right." But uh, we don't know. This Trevor Lawrence, who go for, they say that the last report was they're going to do an MIR, which should be today, Tuesday, and well, I hope when I do the NFL news with Sylvester that it's good news. It's this, it's just it's like Aaron Rodgers all over again. It feels like. I hope it's not the case. I mean, you know, maybe he can get the same if it's that bad, he can get the same surgery as Aaron Rodgers and come back, start first week in September 2024. You gotta hope for the best, and you know, it's just the way it is. It's just football. You can't. The show must go on, and I said it earlier too that the show must go on. Joe Burrow was injured, and we seen him on the sideline with the arm in a sling, and now the whole situation with the whole situation with the wrist earlier previous remember earlier he's seen in the airport, but you know I I reported it and I say, there could be his problem. Like, was he injured before? Like, why was he wearing this? What they said to call, some reporters were saying looks like a soft cast. Sports reporters were saying looked like a soft cast on it. I looked into it in the video and I was like, oh, okay, soft cast can be. You can put on your own soft cast, make it hard. Now I heard after a while that they said that I think it was I don't know if who on the Cincinnati Bengals reported this, saying that Joe Burrow was just wearing a protective wrist cover for his iPad, and then looking up the product, how it's black and the way it looks like a soft cast, the way it's shaped, and look at his hand again. I think that's a possibility. It could just be I mean, it's a he forgot to take that off. Like that. I thought most people were some people were saying throughout, like the internet, were saying, how many people forget to take off that silly wrist thing to to prevent your iPad from like touching the screen? That wrist. Like, who would buy that kind of product? People that got a disposable income, and I mean super disposable income, to buy a product you kind of don't really need. What's it called? The writing tablet, I guess. The writing tablet, and you don't have your arm and wrist don't interfere with the tablet. I I if we have to base that on the photo, you have to give it to Joe Burrow. I guess that he did not injure his. He did not like I say, like he didn't report a wrist injury that he had that he probably thought was minor. It just it's one of those things where it just the optics looks so bad where uh like uh, it's just like was he like the whole question of was he injured before this game but did not report it. Now if it, and I can't to me now the way looking back and all that, it's like it's got to be that Joe Burrow either had a wrist product, a wristband product, like the arm cover product that from Amazon, of course, and it was supposed to be that it prevents the iPad from the writing. I guess the writing tablet. I'm not familiar with these products. All these products I've just said I'm not familiar with them. I just seen the pictures of them, and of course some skepticism of people. Some people saying who really forgets to put that silly take that silly thing off when you're walking through an airport. And yeah, it's you know I'm thinking of it now is the photo was taken at the luggage pickup, like where the luggage carousel as they used to call it. I don't know if they still call it today. And the thing is, you you would take that. I would, or anybody else, going through customs or going through like just a quick check. We're not sure how much security it is for. Oh, you know what? It could be a private charter where they don't have to go through high security screening. I think so. I'd say that if you're gonna go through some kind of security screening, you really don't want to wear that wristband, even though you just something you'd take off. So I could see that he's not going through a high security screen. I'm pretty sure. Like this is the last thing I'll look up on it is that uh like how much security is for a chartered flight? Because I'm pretty sure it's a chartered flight. Their own chartered flight that they do that private chartered flight as compared to a commercial airline. No, there's still a lot of screening protocols in place for that they call it the TSA. So having I would think you'd want to take that wristband off. So the standard screening process for private jets involves going through a metal detector and having bags searched, looking for the. No, they're not looking for soft cast. As if that would be like whoa, they knew something. Somebody knew something in the future. But I I'd still say yeah, you'd want to take that off. You just don't want to leave stuff on that's like that. It just looks I don't know. It, it's just like well, what are you wearing now? You know, wouldn't you wouldn't you be like afraid of being like with other of like you gotta go through it's your turn to go through the screener and they're like and they're like when they put their wand over the cat like even though it's that thing and uh you see no one's seen that like the thing is like I'm just being such a just a instigator on this one. I don't know why. Why am I doing this? But the thing is, Coach, I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, so if you uh would you want to wear this product? I'm gonna look it up again. What it is called? What am I talking about? Let's see. 1 second. Gotta put it on pause. Look up this product first again. Okay. Sorry, Coach. We both listened. Coach and I was just listening to this when it says Bengals QB Joe Burrow explains wrap on wrist before season-ending injuries. What I'm apologizing to Coach Coyote is that we're taking long. He really wants to get go to sleep, and it's because it's 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. But it's just he's. Let me. I'm gonna take the volume down. What I'm gonna do is this will be the final. Like this is. I don't know what to make out of it. It's just okay. I'll try to see. Okay, now. Okay, so I had to put just the captions on, and I wanted to just the captions, and I wanted to a question to uh, respond to this whole thing that it's not an Amazon product on his sleeve. I mean on his arm, and I knew it because you would take that off to go through airport screening. It just looks bad. It's just like why would you keep that on? It's just you could, or you could just laugh about it. He could have just said that too, but he didn't say that at his press conference explaining the injury uh, that he has, not the supposed unexplained wrist injury prior to the game. Now, uh, he's he didn't come out and say like some other people reported. Well, it's some product. It's like a product that you use for your writing tablet. Okay, he didn't say that. Joe Burrow did not say that. He didn't like so because like I said, I mean, I'm not a detective and I don't play one on TV, but or a private detective and I don't play a private detective on TV. Uh, I just know that wait, what why, uh, he, there's some discrepancy going on in reporting. What's going on? Because now he says it's a compression bandage. Okay, now I'm gonna play the word. I'm gonna not. You're not gonna. You're not gonna. Of course, not gonna. We're not gonna hear the audio or see the video. I'm just gonna. I'm just got it on captions, and I'm just going to read what it says here. Okay. Okay. It says different thing. You know it's not. This is Joe Burrow. Okay. So different thing. You know it's not uncommon for guys to wear compression sleeves on plane because when one second when you go up it's not plane I guess I didn't catch on a plane but on a plane because when you go up to that altitude you let's see when you go up to that altitude you know things can swell up. Okay, I'm stopping right there thinking I I know they're highly tuned. I mean, their whole life is their one arm that can be in tip top shape. But uh, I kind of I kind of I I kind of questioning this idea that the compression is some kind of preventative. You know, how many people are just going around, even if they're athletes, like even like if they're athletes or working out at gyms, how many people are going around when they don't have any injury, but you're wearing, no, these are his words. These are Joe Burrow's words. That he's wearing a compression sleeve on his wrist because things, quote unquote, swell up. Okay, for high altitude. Uh, how many others are doing that? I mean, is how common is that for real? Like you don't have an injury that you have to report. I mean, and like they, they have to report every injury. So even if it doesn't seem like a like this could be there could be not much to it after all, and he was just wearing a compression a sleeve. But we have now that press conference did not. I'm sorry, but if you're the NFL, are you gonna let this just brush aside? Like, do you want players to just easily get away with this explanation that you're I'm wearing a compression sleeve even though I don't report any injury whatsoever? Like, uh, is it? I, I don't know what to say. Let me see some more of this. Okay, let me see some more. I have. Why am I so skeptical on this one? It's just so like. How do I? Okay, because he says when you go up that altitude, you know things can swell up, and I had let's see. Okay, swell up. I had football. You have a lot of bumps and bruises. This is a completely new injury. It was and then the reporter asked him, "Was it a compression sleeve?" And he answered back, "It was a compression." And he says, "It was a compression." Oh no! So the reporter asked him, "So was it a compression?" And he answered back, "It was a compression, Steve. Yeah." Uh, then did you have soreness before that? The reporter asked, and then he says, uh, "You grabbed it on. You grabbed it, or just cautionary? No, not that. Was more of." Okay, so the reporter just asked him, "Did you grabbed it on? You grabbed it on. You put it on, I should say probably, or just it was cautionary?" No. And then Joe Burrow says, "No." He says, "No, more of. Just make sure my arm on a flight doesn't. I mean, doesn't. I mean, you try to maintain your body as much as you can." That that's kind of a changing sentence there. He changed the sentence in mid stride there. Let's see. Okay, just make sure my arm was on a flight doesn't mean doesn't doesn't it? I'm. It's probably probably the AI didn't catch his words properly. See, doesn't mean you. It says, but doesn't mean you. Maybe he said it twice. You try to maintain your body as much as you can, and on a short week you got some bumps and bruises. Had nothing to do with the wrist. Yeah, the play before it happened, I landed on the wrist a little bit, but then the next play, touchdown pass, it just felt the pop and right in the middle of the throw, you try to give it a go, but just couldn't get it done. So and obviously, and the news today not so great. So this is when I I couldn't I knew I I don't know, coach. I don't know if coach, I don't know what to think. This is definitely a billion. This is something for $1 billion dollar corporation to figure out that did they just have a player out there that decided to not report an injury? His, his wrist is weak, and here he is, and he got uh, like even if I looked at, because I watched the game, and Coach and I both seen the game, and Coach, don't you remember? I was like, I I think I don't know if I said it or not, but I said something like, I I had what why he threw the ball. He, it didn't it didn't like, I don't know. It didn't look. Yeah, when he threw the ball, it looked like it was an injury, or it looked like it was already injured, but not just from the previous play. I mean, like, that's just, I don't know what the word is for it, but it says, I could say, I'll just say convenient to say that, like, oh, the previous play, because you do see him, hurting his, going off on his wrist. Now, what's crazy, Coach, is I know Coach is giving me that look like you already spent too much time on my show. It was the post game show. I apologize, Coach Coyote. I well, we still have Thursday night to make up for, Coach. Where I'm gonna let you run the show Thursday night more, and I'm not gonna take over like I am now. And I'm sorry, but Coach will get me back. Like earlier, how he got me back was fun. It was just when I said that AJ McCarron was starting quarterback. Okay, I got my info all wrong. Coach was just sitting there quietly, didn't say nothing, and I was like, after all that, I said, hey, just curiosity, Coach, is killing me. Is how come you didn't say anything to me that uh, AJ McCarron is not the starting quarterback? And he said to me, hey, do your own research. Good one. Let's all give it to Coach Coyote. That's a good one because he's just a presenter. He does his own. He likes to do his own research to make sure, like a person like me, doesn't do research for him because I totally didn't do it right. Where I didn't look into it deep enough and trusted the AI on the tablet to say that, oh, okay, here's the quarterbacks, and I'm thinking, oh, they just signed, oh, okay. But then I did see some here and there. They didn't know who was going to be the starting quarterback for a while, I guess, and sure why Jake Browning wasn't just, but But let's face facts. Jake Browning is now the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals for the rest of the season. I don't see, I don't, the way he's playing. Yeah, I could see him being the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. And Coach, earlier you were very quiet and coy, and that's where you get the word coyote, coyote. And you didn't say anything to me to like say, hey, that's not, it's not that the coach didn't want to embarrass me, quote unquote. He just wanted me. He's just. I know he was. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Earlier he was mad because I took over the show. It was supposed to be the pregame show, and I think I rambled off about something too long, just like I rambled off about this whole wrist thing. And like I said, so I have no idea how much time I spent on the post game show, but it is 1:14, an extra 14 minutes from earlier, so this could be almost 30 minutes long, Coach. I'm so sorry, Coach. Coach is going to really sleep in. He doesn't have to go this week. He just came back from Arizona. So this Thursday night, the coach and I will do the Thursday night pregame and the Thursday night postgame show. And I will be more cordial to Coach and give him back his show. Sorry about that, Coach. He's very patient, you can see. He just gives me that stern look. He's very patient. Okay, so I'll wrap this up, Coach. Sorry about that. Okay, so for the Coach Coyote and I, we both are saying over and out.